Welcome to the Den of Discussion. I'm Douglas Robbins. So earlier in another video, I had said that we are society, that we are culture, we are corporations, we are government. It's just made up of individuals. Yes, some come from different classes and different whatevers, different realities, if you will. But we're all in this together. There is an interconnectedness we all share. There is a common purpose we all share. Some you wouldn't necessarily think that, as they have kind of their own agendas. But holidays are a very curious thing to me, because it's like some are for all and some are, we're going to give our people this but not give our people that. If it's a national holiday, it's a national holiday. It's not like a corporation should get to decide what holidays are legit and what they're going to give or not. For instance, President's Day. The company I work for used to have it off. Then it was just bought by another company, and they don't give President's Day off. It's like a choice. We're going to honor it or not honor it. Veterans Day is another one. And what's curious about this is kids get these off. And so there's a disconnection between, the kids in school and adults in workers, basically. And when you become a worker, you seem to have fewer rights, or don't get to adhere to the same national acknowledgments. I mean, holidays are very important. They acknowledge presidents, they acknowledge Martin Luther King Jr., they acknowledge veterans. Election Day is another curious one that makes no sense to me. Kids have off and kids don't vote. And then adults don't have it off and adults do vote. So clearly there's this disconnection in our democracy and our culture. That is American culture, that allows corporations to decide or dictate what's a holiday and what isn't. Oh, we're only going to give 8 this year. Okay, but there are 15. Yeah, but we're giving 8. And do you get paid extra time for the missing President's Day, or working President's Day or Veterans Day? No. Should Election Day, really the most important day in many ways to a democracy, should everyone have that off? Of course. Obviously, there's all sorts of issues with voter rights and suppression, trying to remove people from rolls. Obviously, these are not people who are trying to uphold democracy, but undermine it. That is, the people who are trying to suppress. But it's so curious when public employees have off these days and many private employees don't, and say, well, that's a curious disconnect there that needs to be resolved, because you can't have this splintering of a nation. You can't have the splintering of what is a holiday, what's important, basically. What do we honor? No, you don't get to honor that. You have to work. It's curious, and yet everyone gives Christmas off, which is, a great holiday, but obviously unrelated to our democracy. So again, we as people, what do we accept? What is it we're accepting? What is it we're allowing? What are we not demanding? When people come together, they have great power. When they are isolated, obviously they don't. So again, you have holidays. Some are public, some are private, some get to choose, some don't. All the public institutions have the same holidays. And yet private institutions say, not that important. We need to make a buck that day. And so capitalism undermines, or the feeding frenzy of capitalism. Capitalism can be confined to a conscientious capitalism. But capitalism at its core is just make a buck at all costs. Supply and demand, pay the least, make the most. That's capitalism. So if you didn't have labor laws, your kids would be 8 years old working in a mine because capitalism would have encouraged that. So again, it's this disconnection of what's important and what's not important. Do we want to honor our children? Do we want to honor ourselves? When do we come? You go from kids to adults, and there's that transition of essentially you're just a cog in the wheel now. Again, kids have election day off, but adults don't have election day off. It doesn't make any sense. Why someone can choose, some CEO can choose President's Day off or not President's Day off. Again, these are things that should be in place, period. You should not have a choice. You can encourage your employees to work in, President's Day and will pay overtime or double time or whatever it might be, or give them a comp day or something. But I'm sorry, you don't get to choose. The nation does. And if we had more honorable leaders, we wouldn't have this disconnect. Have a great day.